You're watching DelmarvaLife. We are in Cambridge, Maryland, and if you're looking for something fun to do for the whole family, look no further than right here. We are at the Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge, and if you've ever wanted to see birds up close and personal like you've never seen before, this is the place to do it. And of course, I'm here with my friend Ray with the Wildlife Refuge. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Picked a chilly day, but it's very sunny. It's a nice day.
We did, but at least we're dressed for the elements, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So tell me, where are we at right now?
Well, right now we're in the visitor center for the Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge, and this is pretty much the first place where people stop to gather the information before they go out and enjoy the refuge. This refuge was established in 1933. It's about 33,000 acres, and it's part of a bigger complex. It's called the Chesapeake Marshlands National Wildlife Refuge Complex. But also for people, like you had said, I mean, we're 12 miles out of Cambridge. There's a lot to do. We have hunting here, we have fishing, we do education programs, we do interpretive programs. So if you're interested in just getting out, a lot of great spots for photography.
Oh, absolutely.
Usually after a snowfall, we get folks out because, you know, what better time to take photographs outdoors when everything's covered in the snow.
Yes,
so
yeah.
It's a magical place.
And of course, you talked about some of the other programs, but that also includes these bird tours, right?
Yes. Yeah, we've got two volunteers. One of the volunteers has been volunteering here for over 30 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, avid birders. And what we do is basically everybody comes to the visitor center and meets in their cars. And then they load up in the cars and they just stop at various spots along the refuge and bird. Sometimes they'll see over 40 different species. Sometimes these birding tours will last 2, 3. One time he told me it was 4.5 hours.
Oh my goodness, wow. This is incredible. This is just so much fun even just talking about it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna be doing it for real pretty soon. So I've actually never gone birding. Is there anything that I should know ahead of time, or maybe people who are watching that maybe have never gone before, anything they should know before they start?
Well, the first thing, especially on a day like today, dress appropriately.
Yes.
You know, if you come out here and you don't have a hat and you don't have gloves and you get right on the river, it's open, the wind's coming through, you're not gonna last very long. The other thing is, stop in the visitor center and ask before you go, because our volunteers are very knowledgeable and they usually drive the drive before they come in to work their shift. And they know if the pelicans are out, if the eagles are out, if they saw a heron, so they can give you a lot of advice.
Well, I can't wait to do this. This is my first time, and I'm so excited to be doing it with you. So let's go, right?
All right, yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do some birding. We got the 3 seasonal firefighters, they stay there in that house.
So Ray was just telling us in that nest there is actually 2 bald eagles. So we're gonna use our binoculars here and see if we can actually, let's see here. Can't miss that nest. Yeah, there they are. Wow.
Way over there.
So what bird is up here?
This is a great blue heron. So this is one of the big wading birds that we have. So basically what this bird's doing is it's got really long legs and it usually walks around in the water, and it'll use its body to like block the shadow, and it's pretty much sitting there waiting to see fish go by.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And it's like spearing at the fish as the fish come past. Now you're like a specialist. Things that flitter around and they can hide here behind the leaf. So then that's when you really need them.
Do you have a favorite moment going on these bird tours with people?
I don't have favorite moments. What I do have is moments on almost every tour when I get to watch somebody discover something on their own for the first time, and I get to like piggyback onto their excitement. Yeah. Their excitement becomes my excitement.
All right, so we just pulled up and we actually found one last surprise bird, and this is called a woodcock, right?
It's a woodcock, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the bird?
It's just a little forest dweller. They're very similar to snipes. They've got a really long bill, and they probe down in. They're looking for worms. But the comical part is when they start walking, they almost walk like a chameleon, where they kind of slowly move back and forth, and they move very slow. It's just such a cute little bird, and it's not real common to see him. You can see how he's bobbing up and down, up and down.
not something you see every day. And they just, I don't know, there's something about them. They just make me smile.
Our exploration of the Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge continues. DelmarvaLife will be right back. And while you're on one of these birding tours, you might even see a fire like this in the background, but don't worry, this is just what the doctor ordered. It's called a prescribed fire. And here to tell me is one of the firefighters. This is my friend Eric. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you
problem.
We were driving by and saw you and stopped, and I have so many questions, and I appreciate you doing this interview.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, so this is something you do every year, right?
Yeah, this is an annual event for us. We tend to take the prescribed fire operations in the refuge very seriously. It's part of a little bit of our little historical culture, but it's also part of ecosystem management and hazard fuels reduction.
And why is that so important to do every year?
So every year we are always trying to recycle that nutrient growth in the marsh. It's part of some of our operations when it comes to trapping and being able to facilitate trapping muskrats, and in the past it was nutria. And then on top of that, it's also important to reduce that amount of hazardous fuels that are out along the roads that are able to be ignited by somebody doing something wrong or even in an accident.
That's incredible. And how long does something like this take?
Yeah, so an operation really depends on all the moving parts that we have, and in this particular operation, we're doing a lot of the stuff on the side of the road, and we don't have a whole lot of complexity to it. Something like this can take 2 hours.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And thank you again for everything that you do for the community as a firefighter.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us how it works? There's obviously some equipment that you use to
Yep.
make this fire to start, right?
Yeah. We can use anything from marsh masters, which are basically like floating tracked vehicles. We use a lot of UTVs to put some fire on the ground out of that. A lot of it is walking. We do a lot of walking.
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. Now, obviously, for the people here, we're able to kind of see the impact that it makes visually. But what does this mean to you to be able to do this kind of work?
So I'm a second generation wildland firefighter. It's really nice to know that what I'm doing is something that the community values and something that the ecosystem needs, and it's a lot of fun. I just enjoy my job.
Yeah, absolutely. It sure sounds like it. And I guess now we'll be able to kind of see these flames up close and personal, right? Or at least from a safe distance for the camera to be able to.
I hope so. Yeah.
Awesome. That's incredible. I can't wait to see this.
Okay,
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, you bet.
All right. So we see these flames behind us, right? How do you make sure that something like this doesn't go too out of hand?
Well, so the idea with what we've got today is we have enough trained personnel and equipment, and we've come up with a really good plan called a prescribed fire plan. This kind of activity is part of what we expect, and that's really what we're looking for. Like to get to your question, how can we make sure that something like this doesn't get out of hand? Is that I know that when we put fire in 3 square, that we're going to get flame lengths of 8 to 10 feet, and it's going to burn relatively hot, not as hot as some stuff, but pretty hot.
Yeah.
And part of that comes from scientific formulas that we've used to develop fire behavior models. So this particular fire right now it's kind of got a little bit of a we have ways to explain the different parts of fire. When the fire is moving with the wind and pushing across the marsh, like the stuff that's in the very far end, that's a head fire. It's the head that's where it's heading to. And then the stuff on the sides that isn't necessarily getting pushed by the wind, but it is getting some wind, that's flank. And then the stuff as it slowly creeps backing towards the highway or the road, that's called backing fire.
You said it's 90% of smoke and ash?
Yeah, a lot of what smoke is a lot of water. It's the plants use, so it's cool because the chemical equation for fire is the exact opposite of photosynthesis.
Really?
Yes, and so if you were to take the two and turn them inside out, they get to each other, right? So even within the building blocks of a plant itself, it's waiting for fire. In certain species, not every plant needs to burn, and not every fire is going to be good. The stuff that we're doing today, good.
You know, it was just like Ray said at the beginning, when you're here at Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge, you never know what you're gonna see, and let me tell you, we were in for a treat. That was amazing, everything we got to witness, and I'm so glad we were able to take you along for the ride for it, so thank you so much to Ray and Eric, and DelmarvaLife, we'll be right back.